Picture this. It's May 1945. Allied troops are sweeping through a hidden facility deep in the Austrian Alps when they discover something that makes their blood run cold. Blueprints, prototypes, weapons so advanced they seem ripped from science fiction. Jet fighters that could fly at impossible speeds, rockets that could reach across continents, and something even more terrifying, designs for a Nazi atomic bomb. What happened to these weapons? Why didn't Hitler use them? And more importantly, where did they end up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of World War II's greatest mysteries, the Nazi secret weapons that never saw battle. Some were captured, some were destroyed, and some, well, they simply vanished. Hit that subscribe button because this story is absolutely wild. Let's set the scene. It's early 1945, and the Third Reich is crumbling. But Hitler isn't giving up. He's betting everything on his Wunderwaffe, wonder weapons, that he believes will turn the tide of the war. And here's the thing. Some of these weapons were genuinely revolutionary. But as the Allied forces closed in from both sides, Nazi scientists faced a critical decision. The Americans and British were coming from the west, the Soviets from the east. Everyone wanted these weapons. Everyone wanted the scientists who built them. What happened next would shape the Cold War and modern warfare forever. Enter Operation Paperclip, America's secret mission to capture Nazi scientists and their technology before the Soviets could get them. In the spring of 1945, American intelligence teams fanned out across Germany and Austria. They had lists of targets, research facilities, weapons labs, and the scientists themselves. Their orders were clear: grab everything. And what they found was astonishing. Hidden in salt mines, underground bunkers, and remote mountain facilities were prototypes and plans for weapons decades ahead of their time. Let me give you some examples that will blow your mind. The Horten Ho 229. This was essentially the world's first stealth fighter jet. It had a flying wing design that would later inspire America's B-2 Spirit bomber. The prototype was captured by American forces and shipped back to the United States, where it sits today in the Smithsonian's collection. The V-3 Supergun. Imagine a cannon so large it could fire shells from France to London, over 90 miles away. The Nazis built this monster into a hillside in northern France. The British discovered it and bombed it to oblivion before it could be used. The Silbervogel, or Silver Bird. This was a proposed suborbital bomber that could skip along the edge of space and drop bombs on New York City from Germany. It was never built, but the designs were captured and influenced both American and Soviet space programs. Now here's where it gets morally complicated. The scientists behind these weapons had a choice to make: surrender to the Americans, surrender to the Soviets, or try to disappear. Most chose the Americans, and honestly, who could blame them? They'd heard the stories about what happened to people the Soviets captured. But this created a massive ethical problem for the United States. Many of these scientists had been Nazi party members. Some had used slave labor from concentration camps. Yet America wanted their knowledge so badly that they were willing to overlook their pasts. Wernher von Braun is the most famous example. He was the mastermind behind the V-2 rocket, which killed thousands of British civilians. But he ended up leading America's space program and helped put men on the moon. His past was quietly sanitized. The Soviets, meanwhile, conducted their own operation, capturing German scientists in their occupation zone. This created a bizarre situation where former Nazi engineers were working for both superpowers, helping them build the weapons that would define the Cold War. But not everything was captured. Some Nazi secret weapons simply disappeared, and to this day nobody knows what happened to them. The Nazi Bell, or Die Glocke. According to some accounts, this was an anti-gravity device being developed in a secret underground facility in Poland. When the Allies arrived, the facility had been destroyed and the device was gone. Some conspiracy theorists believe it was moved to South America. Others think it never existed at all. The truth? We may never know. The Nazi nuclear program. Yes, Hitler was trying to build an atomic bomb. The Allies knew this, which is why they launched desperate raids to destroy heavy water facilities in Norway. When the war ended, the Nazis were still years away from a working bomb. But all the research, all the uranium, where did it go? Some was captured, but inventories suggest material went missing. Submarine treasures. In May 1945, 2 German U-boats, U-530 and U-977, surrendered in Argentina months after the war ended. What were they doing there? Officially, the crews said they were fleeing prosecution, but rumors persist that they were transporting Nazi gold, secret documents, or even high-ranking officials trying to escape. Both submarines were thoroughly searched, but if they had offloaded cargo before surrendering, we'd never know. So what's the legacy of these secret weapons?
First, they fundamentally shaped the Cold War. The space race? That was basically a competition between German rocket scientists working for different sides. The jet age? Built on Nazi jet engine technology. Even modern cruise missiles can trace their lineage back to the V-1 flying bomb. Second, they changed how nations think about scientific research during wartime. The massive investment in weapons development during World War II created a model that continues today. Every major power now has secret weapons programs, pushing the boundaries of technology. But perhaps